Okay, so once again, we left with these done. Okay, and I've done my other ones now as well, and I've got loads of fluff that I shouldn't have. All right, so don't worry about the markings on this one because I was using an old bit of felt that I'd already cut out. So what I've got is I've got my new arms and my new legs. Okay, and once again, I don't really need them right now. Okay, so I'm going to put them to the side. What I'm hoping that everybody's up to is the body. All right, now I do have a lot of stitches that are hanging out. It doesn't really matter because they're going to go inside. But the main thing that we're going to do now is we're going to turn it inside out because all your stitching is along here. All right, so I said mine will still look a bit dodgy because I'm doing my stitching in black so that you guys can see the stitches. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the inside out. So once again, you may need to get a pen or a chopstick or a spoon or knife on the other end, not the sharp end, something to push it through, okay? But if not, sometimes you can just use your fingers like I've done now, and you can turn it inside out, all right? So once again, as you can see my stitching, and once again, you can see my dodgy markings on the pink there. But that is your body now turned inside out. All right, so there's still a small patch at the bottom, which that's fine because I've left that there in case there was any problems. And you've got your patch at the top here for the head. All right, so there's a few ways we can attach the head. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the head the way it is at the moment, and that's your bottom. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to start filling it. So you've got to fill it up to whatever you think your teddy bear, the thickness, or I don't want to say the fatness, the plumpness of your teddy bear. So you've got to figure out what plumpness you want in your teddy bear. So once again, I'm just pulling behind the scenes. I'm pulling apart my polyester here, and I'm just going to start putting it in the top section of my teddy. Now, once again, sometimes if you try to squeeze a massive amount in, it won't go in. So you just got to tear it into smaller bits. All right. So once again, I just keep doing this, keep doing this. I'm glad that so many people are enjoying these because once again, it's just a little activity, just something to do really. You can do it, you can call it a little STEM activity, you can call it a craft activity, but I think also for mindfulness, it's quite handy because it just takes your mind off everything that's going on and you're just working on this one little project, all right, even when it comes to your schoolwork and all that. Okay, so now I've shoved a fair bit of polyester in there, but as you can see, still pretty flat, all right? So I think I don't want him too big, but I'm gonna get some more. And I do have a fair bit of it here anyway, because like I said, I use it not just teddy bears, because I don't make teddy bears all the time, but I have a model railway and I use it for my model railway because it works out very good for scenery. So that's the reason why I have this stuff laying around. And I was lucky enough to have loads of it so I didn't have to duck off to the shops. All right, so now once again, yeah, he's looking all right. I know he's bulging a bit at the bottom there, so I can stitch that up eventually. And maybe actually that's something that I should probably do now because I want to make sure that I've got the right amount in there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and stitch that together. Now I do actually have my needle ready to go. And once again, because this is my outside and I don't really want the whole lot to be in there, I'm going to start by going on the inside first, okay? So if I go on the inside, that knotted part that I created, that is going to stay on the inside, all right? And I've just got to make sure that I push it down. And when I close up what I'm going to be doing, it's hopefully going to hide a lot of my stitching. Okay, once again, if you're using the same color cotton as the felt you're using, it's going to work out fine. But like I said, mine will always stay looking like, I don't know, Frankenstein because I've used black cotton. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to keep stitching this. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this and I'm not just going ahead and stitching it myself and then coming back to you is because some people decide to get to the end and then they cut the cotton and they start all over again. All right, the easiest thing to do is just keep going. So there's no need for you to stop. Okay, I made a little mistake there, but I can sort that out. Okay, there's no need for you to stop there and start again. And as you can see, some of my stitching over here, because I've been pushing my stuff in, it's actually coming apart a little bit. So the more I go across, the stronger it's going to be. And then of course I can still fill all my stuffing. So I'm just going to jump across to my other side here and try and fill my gap like that. Okay, and then once again I can stitch back across here. Once again, mine is not the prettiest, but it's because I'm trying to show you what to do. All right, and once I've stitched like that, what I can do is, I want to make sure that this is nice and tight because I can see it's becoming a little bit loose. And if you do have any loose parts on there, feel free to go back and make them a little bit tighter. All right, now what I can do is to make sure that this is definitely going to last, I can go back on myself because I've still got two other sections that I need to tighten. All right, so I'm just going to go back on myself and once again, just doing those little lock, I don't know what they're really called. I guess it'd be like a lock loop. So it goes through. Trust me, I'm not really the kind of person that knows my sewing terms. But once I've done that, then I can start to go down and I can start to loop in here and join these sections. So that way I've got all four ends are all being put together. Now, once again, like I said, you can take your time with this and you don't have to do any dodgy stitching like I'm currently doing. All right, and I said maybe you want to go back and you want to do an extra bit of stitching back over so that what happens is you eventually double up on a lot of your stitches. And then of course I've got to stitch the last bit, which is my last end of where everything met. All right, so hopefully you're doing a better job than I am right now, because like I said, I'm just trying to instruct you and I'm coming up against a few little problems because I'm trying to rush. But like I said, don't rush. And once again, if you have any little issues with it, you can always just cut those out and you can start again. That's one good thing about the felt. It doesn't usually leave any gaps in there. So I've now finished stitching up all of that. And once again, if you did the double loop like I did previously in the video and you saw that, I'm just going to cut there, for example. Okay, and this is where it gets tricky, especially on camera. All you people watching me, I'm going to go ahead and I have to just tie it off. All right, so I just go and I do a little knot, bring that through. Okay, little knot again, bring that through. All right, and then what I can do is I can then chop off my excess because I don't need that. Okay, all right, so once I've got that, that is pretty much it. So now that I filled that gap, I can get a little bit more stuffing, okay? And I can put some more stuffing in there because once again, like I said, the top bit is gonna have my head in it. Not my head in it, but you know what I mean. And I just want the body to be as good as it possibly can be. Okay, so I've put some more in and I'm thinking I still might put a little bit more in because I don't know, teddy bears, they're not supposed to be really petite and tiny. They're supposed to be, you know, fairly plump. So, okay, I think mine's good enough there. All right, so now what I've got to do is, after I've done that, I'm going to leave that stitching alone, but I have to look at what I do next. So my legs, for example, are going to be attached somewhere. So you've got to figure out, how is your teddy bear going to sit? When they sit, where should the legs be? So I'm assuming that my legs should be somewhere along here, okay? So that's what you're going to do now. You're going to see where you go from here, and then instead of letting the video go on forever and ever and ever and you get bored, I'm just going to post another section. So once again, get to this point, make sure all of your arms and legs are all stitched together, 2 arms, 2 legs, and we will be back to go through the next section of how you're going to attach them. Okay, bye.